You ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Ah, yeah. We taking it back old school with this beat. Here we go. Get ready, get ready. I remember being a kid playing ball in the yard. I thought it was great, man, gonna go real far. Told my mom I'm making the NFL, right? She said, "Aw, son, you're too little and too white." Oh man, my dreams were crushed, you see. And then I thought I might as well try fantasy. It's kinda like football if football were math, and not really fun and kinda well just sad. And that brings us to the show you're about to see. We promise lots of laughs and genuine buffoonery. So sit back, relax, turn that frown upside down, 'cause fool, you in the lounge.
Oh, yeah. Welcome in to the Loquacious Lounge for the League of Loquacious Life Lounge.
gosh.
I screwed it up. Whatever. Welcome into
Super
the
easy, Bailey.
Run it again.
Is
5,
it?
6, 7, 8.
Is it super easy?
Yeah, hello.
Welcome in to the Loquacious Life Lounge for the League of Leagues. We are the show for our leagues, giving you the freshest takes from the voices that matter the most, our own. We are halfway through.
Y'all remember
the
when we did a
season.
road game?
I do remember that.
At Keck's house?
It was really fun.
Best podcast ever.
Yeah, and Crawford had all those what's the give me the thing, the world in Stranger
The Upside Down?
The Upside Down. It was like drops from the Upside Down that were all backwards and slowed down and weird. It was very fun.
They were better.
No. No, that's
I am a little mad at Patrick. I had a note 2 shows in a row asking for a special drop. A really easy
He
drop.
wants me to play live piano.
Not live piano.
would
A little
be great.
a little piano drop.
Oh,
I had it in the
just text me and I'll do it.
This is in the show notes.
read
You've just
those.
given up.
I mean, he kind of literally did text you.
All right. Sorry, Bailey. Sorry to
Man,
interrupt.
no, you're good, bro. You're good. We are halfway through the fantasy football season. It's kind of hard to believe, to be quite honest with you. We've got 7 weeks under our belt, and there are only 7 more to go in the regular season, and then plus 2 playoff.
A lot of math.
A lot of math. Man,
Halftime show, though.
It is. It is the halftime show, or what we're dubbing as the halftime show, where we're going to look back over all that's happened over the past, I guess, quarter, because we did the first quarter, whatever.
Yeah.
Get some hot takes and that whole deal. I guess I ought to say a word if you were just checking us out. Maybe you just randomly found us in your podcast, search feed. You were looking up the word loquacious or whatever as
It's a very popular
people
word.
do.
I do it daily.
Give you a little
Every day.
idea of what you stumbled into. We are a fantasy football league, but we're basically experimenting with a new way of doing fantasy football where we don't just run one league, but we have a multi-year, multi-tiered system of leagues, a league of leagues, if I may, that operates a lot like Premier League soccer over across the pond or whatever, where basically teams are vying for a spot in the upper tier league, and if they don't make the final 8 in that league, if they're in the bottom 4, they get relegated to the lower tier league. And so it continues to have a little bit of a competition. Like, we like to brag, those of us who are in tier 1, we like to kind of, toot our own little horn for being the best of the best, if I may, but all the guys over in tier 2 are fighting for that spot, and then also guys in the championship league are playing for big money as well.
Bailey, what are the percentage odds that we will expand to a third league? We haven't talked about this.
That's a really good question. I don't
experimental.
know, man.
I don't even know how that would work.
I feel like it would have to be bottom 8 get relegated at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I can't even
That's just the
process
teams
that.
don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like the playoff. I mean, because I don't know another way that you would cut it clean unless you just did like top 2 from.
Well, you also
the
got to
tier
think
2
you
leagues.
got teams from tier 2 that you could pull.
Yeah, bottom 4 in tier 2 get relegated to tier 3.
No, that is
Top
the thing.
4 in tier 3 get promoted to tier 2.
Yeah, so you could have it. You could have like a middle league instead of like 2 feeder leagues. You could have a middle league. That's definitely a way.
Major League, AAA, AA.
Yeah, yeah.
4 leagues really.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah,
Minimum.
you could do all that. Anyway, like we always say, we love it. This is the love child of our love for fantasy football. That sounds weird, right?
You can email to the show. Let's move on.
No, I mean this whole thing got birthed out of the fact that we love fantasy football. We love giving each other a hard time, and we also just like doing stupid things like having a podcast. Yeah. We're all kind of involved in that world, and so we were like, yeah, let's put all this together. And so, but one thing we do say with that is that because this is sort of the love child of our league, it's always better when you contribute. Like, we like to hear from you. We like for you to bring in your trash talk. We like for you to email your questions, things you want us to hear us talk about or whatever. You can do that really easily at llforthell@gmail.com. Once again, that's LLL for the LL at gmail.com.
And we only have 2 more episodes.
This is true. No,
season.
Technically, we have 3.
Before the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count that. So we have
that's
post-mortem.
We have third quarter show, fourth quarter show, and then after we have the
postseason.
Postseason, the Christmas break show that nobody's going to write in for.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's Christmas.
So write in to be part of the show.
Absolutely.
We want to hear you.
And if writing an email is too much for you, if it's just a little bit too much work, you can always call 864-475-7576.
I'll pull in some of the group me's that have been, just emotional and nasty, just angry at different agenda items. Oh, we'll talk about that if we want to.
That's great. As always, as well,
might be
we
an
are
interesting new segment.
What's that?
Look at the group me and make fun of what people say.
Pull something from the group me.
Let me just tell you something. I feel like you've done a great job this year.
Thank you.
And I feel like a lot has been thrown at you, or just, I don't know, even if it's at you in the group me about how, unideal things have been. Mm-hmm. However, I think you've done a great job. And the settings are the settings. And even if they're not perfect, they are what they are. A lot of leagues just deal with it. And this is still a great league. And so I have had a great time. Hopefully you have had a great time.
So far,
and many of us have had a great. So if you've heard some negativity, I just wanted to say on behalf of our league, you've done a great job, and this league is still great.
I appreciate that.
Even though there's been some
crying,
some sniveling,
some crying
on the group me. We should bring that up.
Outright crying, I would say. It has. I mean, I expect it this year. It's a COVID year. Or the COVID year, rather. So everything is screwy. I get
on
that.
top of all the
changes, we moved platforms. There's a lot of stuff that went screwy. But at the end of the day, it's still been fun, man. I've had a blast. But yeah, we always say this, but if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe on whatever your podcast platform of choices. Leave us your 5-star review. Click the subscribe button over there on the YouTube page as well, because we have video now. If you prefer to get your content over there on YouTube, then this is where we are. I also realized just now, though, that we haven't introduced ourselves to anybody who hasn't watched us or listened to us before. My name is Michael Bailey. I am the commissioner of our leagues. I go by Gattaca in our squad. My 2 distinguished gentlemen who are sitting across the table from me over here are none other than Chris, Mr. Sivlaki Kakaris.
Guilty.
And Patrick, assistant to the commish.
That's right.
Coker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is our, what year is this of us running the podcast?
3.
3
years.
And we're 3 years into this grand experiment. Man, goodness
Chris,
gracious.
stop kicking the table.
Sorry about that.
Well, it happens. Well, gentlemen, it's the midseason show. We have a lot of stuff to cover because there's been a lot of action. A lot of things have gone down in our league. I vote we just get right into it. I think our next segment is going to be Manager of the Month.
If you have audio epilepsy, don't listen to this drop.
It's true.
Yeah. All right.
Manager of the month.
All right,
so bad.
I'll take this one. It's pretty. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
We talk about it every time.
So each week, each show, we like to give a prestigious award.
That's right.
To an individual in Tier 1 and an individual in Tier 2 that best exemplifies the ideal manager, the ideal specimen. And we'd like to award you with Mr. Manager of the Month. And so we have criteria that we like to look at.
That's right.
League interaction, super important. Are you a good dude to be in the league? We take with waiver wire activity. You've got to have some good free agent pickups. Performance. Nobody's going to be 0-4 in these 4 weeks and be manager of the month. You just can't do that. And then most importantly, looks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what are we doing?
Exactly.
This
If
is
we're not looking at your looks, Come on. All right. So what if I told you in Tier 1, we had a gentleman. Is this going to be a surprise to y'all? You haven't looked at the show notes?
No, I haven't looked at the notes.
Who was a top 4 in the top 4 in scoring 3 out of the 4 weeks and never in the bottom 4. And this was the only person that did this in either of the tiers.
Is it
Wow.
Devin?
Sound pretty interesting to you so
Is
far?
it tier 1 or tier 2?
This is Tier 1. Manager in Tier
okay.
1.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on the
Yeah,
edge of your seats.
that is a very impressive
Yeah,
statistic.
pretty good performance. What if I told you he picked up the number 7 running back
Well,
next week
now
for
I know who we're talking about.
$5. The number 14 from the last 4 weeks, T. Higgins, and 2 of the best tight ends for nothing.
Yeah.
Lastly, he got the podcast bump by being a guest host last week. We're talking about Mr. Snipes.
T-Snizzle.
See, these are the bong, bong, bong. I want to see extra drops for the excitement.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Okay.
For
Well, anyway,
next year.
now what I would like.
Why is he wearing a Gamecock hat
would-
in that photo?
Oh,
I don't know,
that's-
but
that's
did
a
you
good
know
point.
he's related to Wesley Snipes?
I'm
Haven't we
pretty sure
talked about this?
Yeah, we
okay,
talked about it on
good,
the show.
He's trolling.
What I would like to do is I'd like for us to each go around and say something nice about Mr. Snipes, the Mr. Manager of the Month in Tier 1.
Mr. Snipes, you make our league better. Your engagement in all things fantasy football, nay, not all things fantasy football.
Life.
Yeah. No, I mean, all things League of Leagues is inspirational and exemplary. More people should strive to be like you in terms of being active and engaged in what we are trying to do and what we are trying to accomplish.
That was super heartfelt. I just meant, describe a good thing about Snipes to other league mates. So what's
He
something-
wears sunglasses,
What's something
nice.
great about Snipes?
I like your shoes.
He's got great shoes. He's a really good dad.
Yeah.
Father of
You just said
a father of 2.
Wait. You're doing what you said not to do.
Huh? Did I do that?
Yeah.
I'm saying good things about Snipes.
I could say those
Yeah,
things.
it's very heartful.
Well, why
say
didn't you? Why didn't you?
Because you said not to.
You said not to.
Oh, I misspoke. I said to say nice things about him.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, but okay,
All
whatever.
right.
Let's
He
just keep
makes you
going.
feel like
Let's
$1
keep
million
going.
bucks whenever you're talking to him.
He does.
Snipes, you're the man. He was a Division 1A soccer athlete.
He was.
Really?
Yeah.
What school? No, one double A.
Division 1 athlete. That's
I feel
pretty
like
impressive.
the rabbit hole continues to go deeper and deeper.
And you
deeper
see
with
the
Thomas
smile on his face in
Yeah.
the picture. Sorry, guys that are listening. We got a picture pulled up, and he's smiling.
Pull over the car,
That's his face
open up YouTube.
all the time.
Snipes. He played at Lander.
Played at Lander, yeah, soccer.
Ooh, I can't wait. To
He
talk
blew
about
out both hip flexors like in the same day or week or whatever, and he can't play no more. And now he can play.
No,
Wow.
we can't play no more.
Now he can. Anyway,
Is that the Bo Jackson injury?
there's explosive hips. It's a problem. All right,
something like that.
moving on to Tier 2. Criteria right here. What if I told you we had a manager who was the top 3 in scoring 3 out of the 4 weeks, but he did have a bottom 4 finish? Sorry about that. But he had the first most points in week 6, second most in week 7.
That's
This
good.
is what have you done for me lately kind of league.
Yeah, absolutely.
What if I told you he benched Cam Newton before Belichick even did?
Wow.
Super smart. He had the number 10 running back last year that he picked up, Boston Scott, and the number 6 wide receiver, according to points per game over the last 6 weeks, Justin Jefferson.
Good pickups.
And apparently he figured out how to get GroupMe to work long enough to send this picture. I'm talking to the Mr. Manager of the Month, Shane.
Shane!
How about
Shane
that,
Johnson.
Shane?
Shane!
They said it. He couldn't do it, but he did it. Look at him now.
Dude, so I give everybody the weekly payouts, and I appreciate Shane so much because one of these weeks when he was the top scorer, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, man, I really appreciate the money, but what is this for?" And I was just so delighted over that innocence because I was just like, "Oh, dude, you were just gonna keep the money and run." He was like, "No, really, what is this for?" I was like, "You were the highest scorer, man. You've earned this measly $5. Go buy yourself a cup of coffee." You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right, say something nice about Shane.
You start.
I just did.
He didn't know anything about Shane.
Okay. I just love him. That's all I can say. He was my neighbor. So
Yeah, no.
We're kindred spirits.
This is an opportunity for our league mates to learn a little bit more about their competitor.
He's an excellent cook. He is super generous. Yeah.
I
You're
want.
interrupting.
Yeah, you said excellent cook. I didn't realize at the very beginning, the first episode we did where we were introducing Shane about him being the son of a baker, the son of bakers. that was true. He told me it was true.
Yes.
And I am dying for him to bake something. Like, I really want.
He's a
Maybe next episode, have a little treat. Bring it on. We can share.
Yeah,
Unbox it.
His parents own a bakery in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So, and I think he's probably going to go back and work. Usually around the holidays, they have so much business, they need more help. So he goes back and works for them. So he probably will be doing that soon.
He's a family man.
Very much family man.
He's a Philly guy.
He's a Philly guy.
He cheers for everybody but the Birds. And I'm telling you, Shane, hop on the Bird wagon. We're about to win the division.
He's a Cowboys fan.
He's a Cowboys fan. How stupid is that? Anyway, Shane. All right, gentlemen. As always, a customary nightcap and a cup of tea to you guys. May all of your future's best days. Nope.
I can't believe
May all of your future's worst days be your past best. To Shane and to Snipes.
I love there's 2 Gamecock hats right there.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up on Snipes. So we've got the Hall of Fame for Mr. Manager Hall of Fame.
Wow.
There are a lot of opportunities to be Mr. Manager, guys. Try your best.
2.
Okay, just do that. Sound good?
That's great. Okay, well, gentlemen, now we need to get down into all the details, all the nitty gritty of what has happened over the past quarter. So let's hit that drop.
Quarterly
recap is what you want to know. 'Cause let's be honest, last year you couldn't follow this show.
Just click the link in the show description to see the other links.
We got your feedback loud and clearly, and we took it to heart so dearly. So here's your recap. Take that. Let's hear it for feedback.
Okay.
I think that's my favorite line right there. Like when you kind of pull that back in, I thought that was delightful. All right, well, gentlemen, this is where we like to take a moment to recap what has happened in our league over the past 4 weeks. Just sort of look at where things stand and hit some highlights of stuff that we thought was particularly interesting that went down. Now, as a way of reminder to everybody who's listening or watching or whatever, you can actually view all of the league activity for yourself. Our leagues are public, both Tier 1 and Tier 2. They're public leagues on Yahoo. You can check them out. Links to each league are in the show description or in the show notes or whatever it may be.
Show description.
So make sure you check that out wherever you're watching or listening, and you can always easily access that stuff. I know for me that's been great, being able to hop over into Tier 2.
I check it on Sundays. I like to see what's going on in the
love
league.
to see who's winning.
I like to see how my boy Cole's doing. I like to see my boy Patrick's doing.
Yeah.
You're always doing great. He's
right.
always doing great.
So if you're, you're watching your show on Netflix, maybe you just want to check out a random fantasy league instead,
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of binging Cobra Kai, we'll just...
Oh, I wouldn't recommend that. You focus on Cobra Kai.
Oh, wow.
Have you watched it the whole way through a second time yet?
Oh, no. We're in season 2, second time.
Good for you.
My word. All right. Well, here are where things stand as of today in both leagues. Over in Tier 1, sitting atop the standings is none other than Andrew Flowers, followed closely behind Matt Crawford. They both sit at 6-1.
Closely, 109 points away.
Flo has the go-ahead. Oh, wow. Yeah, that actually
full
is.
game away.
Yeah, never mind. Flo running away with it.
The exact same points against. I'm sorry I hit the table again.
Yeah, that is wild.
Your quads are too big.
With Owen,
I skip leg days.
Owen and myself rounding out the top 4. Thank you very much for your congratulations. I appreciate that. I feel very blessed.
May all your future's worst days be.
blue.
Wait, I said it right. May all your future's best days be your future worst. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, Garrison, Nephew Dean, Keck, and Chris, Mr. Suvlaki, rounding out positions 5 through 8.
Air horn.
And then the bottom 4 being Snipes, Gino, Banksy, and none other than Paul.
I don't want to give Paul
Copeland
too hard of a
at
time,
1
but he's
and
better than
6.
this.
He is better than 1 and 6. He's much better than 1 and 6. I'm very surprised to see him down there. Now, over in Tier 2, I'm very pleased to announce that my buddy, and yours for that matter, right? Patrick, assistant to the commish Coker, sits in the number 1 spot by his darn self, if I might add. All right.
2-game lead.
2-game
And
lead
most
at
points.
6-1. Followed with Devin sitting at 4-3, and Cole also at 4-3, and then Garrett rounding out the top four at 4-3. But the next squad, or the next little set, is very close behind. Allen is in the 5 spot at 4-3. Austin in the 6 at 4-3. Shane in the 7 with 3-4.
Austin is raindrops, just for anybody.
Yeah,
who
that's
didn't know
right.
that.
Raindrops. Puddin in the 8th spot at 3-4, and then Leo, Keach, Cousin Chris, and Stark rounding out the bottom.
The bottom 4 are all my guys. Like, that's my. If I'm picking a basketball team, it's me and the bottom 4. Just want everybody to be aware of that. So
It's
come on,
true.
guys.
It's true. I think one of the biggest things that stands out to me from all of this is, so last time, the last show, we were doing the quarter 1 review or recap or whatever, we talked about how, like, man, the parity situation was really weird. Like, there was some parity, I think, in Tier 1 at that point in time, but Tier 2 was, like, wide open or something like that. Man, the middle has become so bunched in both of our leagues. Spots 2 through 10 or 3 through 10 really are only separated by 1 win or 1 loss and a handful of points. It really is anybody's game at this point. I've been very impressed with how everybody has kind of, or at least how the ball is bounced, so to speak, to kind of bring the middle into a really competitive scenario. It's going to be fun watching it go down the stretch.
Can I derail your segment, Bailey?
Please, I'd love you
All
to.
right, I'd like to show you something.
Come on.
That you aren't aware of this.
I'm not aware of.
I'm going to show you. This is the power rating for the first quarter. So I charted where everybody sat in. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about any of this. I should have covered this up. Just pretend this doesn't exist.
That's fine.
We're
I can barely read it anyway.
Oh my gosh. If you can't read this, just email me. I'll send you the spreadsheet. All right. So don't worry about this. What I have is ranked. I've charted the top 4 finishes each week in quarter 1. So as you can see, Nephew Dean has finished in the top 4 in quarter 1 3 times, and then so forth. And then I've charted the bottom 4 finishes in quarter 1. So they're only at 3 weeks in quarter 1. You can see this is their power rating according to that period of time. So you've got their power rating. So obviously Dean, even though he's in 6th place, as far as top 4 finishes, which matters a lot. If you face a top 4 team, odds are you're going to lose. If you face a bottom 4 team, odds are you're going to win. Then I'd like to sort it based on what have you done for me lately. Snipes, which he was the Mr. Manager of the month. He has been pretty much the opposite of what he did in quarter 1, and I don't know if he's going to stop. And so I just think these overall standings are incredibly misleading for who these teams are right now. So the past 4 weeks, Snipes has finished 3 times in the top 4, never in the bottom 4. Keck has finished 2 times in the top 4, only once in the bottom 4, and then so forth. What I did was you get 4 points if you finish in the top 4. You get minus 4 points if you finish in the bottom 4, and these are your rankings.
Wait a minute. So these are the actual power rankings we're looking at right now?
These are the actual power rankings for the big league.
Oh, that's excellent.
So you can see their season-long power rating. So right now, the most powerful team
It's not a touch
is
screen,
Nephew
Chris.
Dean.
Nephew
Not a
Dean,
touch screen.
his team does nothing but score points, and yet they
been
still
unlucky.
lose.
But I'm just saying, if I had to play Nephew Dean next week, which I do have to play Nephew
I was
Dean.
about to say, I don't want to play Nephew Dean.
Hey, Bailey, I don't want to play my nephew.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay. Can you fix that? I'm going to put it on GroupMe for you to change. It's not my preference to face my nephew, but
Tears.
regardless. So I wanted to point this out of, like, sure, we have standings, first Flo, second Crawford, all these teams in the big league. However, the most powerful team, Nephew Dean, followed by Keck. Those are the top 2
Really?
power teams according to me. So Flo and Keck are tied for power season long.
Flo should get the nod though because of
That's fine.
Yeah.
But for just having a hot take, I'm taking Keck.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And then,
Okay, so hang on. Before you
Okay.
move on, this is the order of the power ranking.
So
or
standing
that is the order of the power
standings.
ranking?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sorry about. I put too much information on spreadsheets. I understand that. Standings to the left is their actual standings in our league according to record.
But the order is in order of power.
Quarter 2 power
Quarter 2 power.
because it's what have you done for me lately?
So I have been the third strongest team. I mean, I'm only asking because I'm concerned with myself. I have the third most powerful team in quarter 2.
You are tied for second in quarter 2.
That's fine.
Between 4 teams.
Well done, guys. We did good.
So me, Keck,
Yeah.
Bailey, and Owen.
And Owen.
We
Delightful.
are playing second. But Snipes, he's
Delightful.
Mr. Manager of the Month for a reason.
That's true.
This is
No, I feel
objective
that.
numbers.
I feel that. All right, now what about tier 2?
Boom. So don't worry about this. I meant to cover this up. Sorry, guys. So just pretend it's not there. In quarter 1, Dev and Cousin Chris were the most powerful teams.
Devin is a delightful story.
We need to have him on the
quarter 2.
podcast.
We do need to have him
Dev.
on the podcast.
Next November 17th.
His team surged over quarter 2.
Oh, over Surge Good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, he was already up there. He was already number 1 over quarter 1.
Was he really?
Yeah.
He wasn't in...
He was tied.
Oh, but in the power rankings, but he was not in the actual standings.
that
So
may
in
be
the
true.
actual standings, he was...
Which gives credence to my formula here.
Yes, you actually are proving yourself right
and
now.
then, what have you done for me lately? Shane, power rating, 3 top 4 finishes.
Yeah.
1 bottom 4 finish in quarter 2. So right now, what have you done for me lately? Shane, Dev, and Patrick stand alone amongst the muckety mucks.
The muckety mucks.
And it looks like Dev's the most powerful team right now.
It does.
In tier 1.
It does appear
I know
that
you don't
way.
want to hear that, Patrick. But that's what the numbers show. Numbers
Patrick
never
does
lie.
not concern himself with the common people.
Yeah.
Okay. He is unworried about what happens.
You know who
below
Patrick's
him.
MVP is this year?
Who's that?
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. You know who told you not to pick him up? This guy.
Yeah. Good job.
I will say Aaron Rodgers has been.
Aaron Rodgers has also been
surprise.
very, very solid.
Anyway,
as
just
well.
wanted to share the charted top 4, bottom 4 finishes
No,
because they
that's
matter
delightful.
so much.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is indicative of future success. I'm sad I'm going to play Nephew Dean, and I'm sad I'm going to lose to him because he's the
Yeah.
most powerful team.
No, that is delightful information. I really like that. And it's good. It's good because it doesn't really feel opinion based. It's good and it's bad because I like to give my opinions and like to think my opinions are authoritative. But this actually kind of sets it in reality.
Prior to this, what were your hot takes going to be? Who's pretenders? Who were the contenders?
You know, I mean, for me, I wasn't really going to go that route as much as I was just very impressed with the fact that my homie Flo and Croft were essentially, had a 2-game jump on everybody else in the league. I thought that really was impressive for both of them. However, if I was going to say there was one pretender, I would have to say that it was Crawford. I just think he has had an easy schedule up to this point. And that may not be the case.
There's something to be said about being
next half. Out of those two guys, if I were just picking
I know, I understand that. But all you are factoring in is fantasy football.
That is correct.
When you're a winner in the universe, that's just how it works. And Crawford is a winner. He should have won last year.
I do agree.
He is.
But what I'm really
Okay,
looking
that's
at
fine.
is the points for. Like, that's the stuff that I'm really
fine.
checking out.
I
And
understand that.
he hasn't even broken 700 points for, whereas half the league actually has far more points than he does. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I think he got a good draw for the first half of the season. I don't think he's going to go 6-1 over the next half of the season, but that's not to say he's not going to be in the playoff picture. I think he certainly can.
So look at Crawford's discrepancy between quarter 1 and quarter 2. He is declining according to the numbers.
Man.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're a genius.
We'll see what happens.
Genius. Now, here's one thing I would like to do. This is going to turn a little bit of a corner. So I love this, but I want to talk a little bit about the action that has actually happened in the league.
Okay.
I want to look at trades.
All right.
Because these
I
are the
got you.
things, believe it or not, gentlemen, you don't win your draft. You don't win your league at the draft. You win based upon the moves that you make during the middle of the season. Now, we could go in and talk about all the waiver wire pickups, but honestly, that would be insane,
No.
and there are just so many.
No.
Let's talk about the deals that we have been able to make between or amongst each other. I want to talk about trades. Let's look at the trades that have happened in each league, and I would just like to get your takes. Good trade, bad trade, winner, loser, whatever you want to talk about.
This is starting in tier 2. There's
2.
only been 2 trades in tier 2.
First of all, for shame. Coker, what are you doing over there? Like, these are your people. You need to lead them well, all right?
Everything's going fine.
Everything's fine. It's fine.
Do you think it's a lack of interest? Is that what's going on in tier 2?
I think it's the everything is fine alarm going off.
For you, let me say this differently. There are a couple of guys in your league right now that I feel like can't afford to keep their lineups the same. Stark would be one of them.
You come to mind.
Well, I just don't understand why there have been so few people actually making moves. But be that as it may, let's talk about these two trades.
Snipes cannot leave me alone about trades. And our league is just nonstop.
I know.
Trade talk. But anyway.
All right. So the two we're investigating here is we've got Kenyon Drake being traded to Cole for Drew Brees, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, being traded to Puddin.
At the time,
I don't think you want me to talk about this trade.
At the time, it's ridiculous. But now Kenyon Drake's hurt.
Yeah, so for the record, this took place back on October 14th. Kenyon Drake got hurt this week, which this was October 20-something.
Yeah.
6th, yeah. So, what's your feedback?
No, I think that was a ridiculous trade.
27th.
At the time, certainly.
At the time, and I thought to myself, Puddin, what are you doing? Cole is my buddy, and so he texted me, would you rather have Myles Gaskin or Kenyon Drake? And I said, Myles Gaskin. And so I think that was the original trade on the table.
Wow.
You know, but unfortunately, it's not working out for Cole right now. Kenyon Drake is hurt.
Yeah.
I guess you get an IR spot, and maybe he'll come back for the fantasy playoffs.
It's just an ankle, isn't it?
Yeah, but Madison is super good. I know, sorry, we don't want to do too much fantasy analysis, but Madison is probably going to excel.
What does Madison have to do with anything? You're talking about Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is
I'm sorry.
Back
Yes.
Because he gets
Which is the
on
same
base.
thing.
Which is the same thing.
Chase Edmonds is the same thing as Alexander Madison, just to be honest with you. Chase Edmonds is going to excel in Kenyon Drake.
That's right.
He's already in the passing game. If he takes away Kenyon Drake's carries, that's going to hurt him. So anyway,
no, that's real.
Now the trade's even, but 2 weeks ago, good job, Cole.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the other one would be Tony Pollard being traded to Cole. Again, well done. And for Alexander Madison being traded to Cousin Chris.
It's a nothing.
That is a very fair and even trade.
Yeah, that's it. That's just backup for backup.
Good job.
Good job working that out.
All right, let's jump over to Tier 1, where there's been significantly more action. In fact, I don't even think we were actually going to be able to look at all the trades that have been taking
in
place.
October, I just want to look at what's October and probably the September 30th one.
Yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead.
Justin Herbert for Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, man.
I don't trade for quarterbacks. So.
I'm the same way. I always view quarterbacks as like they're a streamable option. I don't need to trade for a quarterback because I can pick up one that's going to get me a week here and there. However,
I think Paul won that one. Deebo got hurt. That's not fair.
But it was this week. Like it literally took place this week, and I think
Deebo got hurt this week, though.
All things considered, I would have had to say Paul won, but based upon the fact of what happened this week, Justin Herbert went off and Deebo got hurt. It's like, well, Snipes is the clear winner.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's the clear winner. I mean, Herbert is now do I start him every week? Is that too hot of a take?
I mean, probably he's good, but there's lots of good quarterbacks. That's why we don't draft quarterbacks.
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. All right, well, let's talk about A.J. Brown for Kenyon Drake. I told you earlier, before the show began, that I loved this trade. This was one of my favorite trades of the year, to be honest with you. It was between you and Flo. You picked up A.J. Brown, and he got Kenyon Drake. Now, obviously, all of this was before Kenyon Drake got hurt, and that's a very sad thing, and so you clearly won. But I just enjoyed the trade in general. A.J. Brown was a guy I was trying to target. Truth be told, I was trying to buy really, really low on him. Flo knows this because I gave Flo like 3 different offers for him that were very low. But I was just a believer in A.J. Brown coming back and wanted to get him on my roster as best I could. And I think he made a good move here, like moving away from Kenyon Drake, who's hard to...
You asleep?
Oh, stop. Boo. He's hard to part with. He's hard to part with because he was a first-round pick. But A.J. Brown is great.
All right, how about I give you some juice? How about the behind the scenes of this trade?
He gets on base.
So,
some Moneyball reference. Have you guys
Flo,
seen
all right, first of all, I told you this before the show.
Yeah.
I was genuinely sad when Kenyon Drake got hurt. I wanted him to succeed for Flo. The reason for that is he has, and I don't mean this shyly, he is by far the best person to trade with in our league.
He's very good.
And not just because he's good, but everybody else is super sucky to trade with. All he did was say, hey, I'll trade you Gurley for Woods or Drake for Brown. That's all he did. And then I said, man, those are really fair trades, both of them. I'm actually having a really hard time with them because, I like my players for a reason. And I said, are you serious about these? Because I want to stop thinking about it if you're going to back out on that, which I actually had someone who offered me a trade. I said yes, and they said, all right, let me think about it.
That's not how that works.
I know. I'm not going to say any names, regardless. But so I was like, and this was after that. So I was like, Flo, are you being serious? Are these the trades you want to do? And so I thought for a day on which one did I want to do, or if I wanted to do any of them. And then I ended up doing. It worked out. It worked out for me. But for that reason, I was like, I hope Drake does well for Flo because he's been so good to trade with. He gave me a lot of space. He didn't try to, dude. Snipes. All you do is you text me about how sucky my players are and how good your players are, and let's trade for them. And it's like, I don't want to do this with you. Flo did the opposite of that, and I'm really grateful for it. So anyway, that's the behind the scenes of that trade.
Flo really is a great guy to trade with because he's very kind. Like and I can say this from experience, like even if the trade isn't like 100% fair or great, like he's not going to be like, you're such a loser for.
That's exactly what I do.
And I appreciate
I send links to rankings. I'm awful. I'm sorry.
You're not that bad. You're not that. I know other people who are worse. Now, last trade that I really want to talk about, to be honest with you, in this little segment is just this Juju Smith-Schuster for James Conner trade. So Paul got Juju, and James Conner went to Keck. I think the unequivocal winner here is Ryan Keck.
Yeah, unfortunately.
At
the time, it was closer, but Juju is borderline droppable. Not because he's not good, but he's just not getting the numbers. And I don't know what to do with that.
There are a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. And that's not to say that everybody's wanting the ball and like crying for the ball or whatever.
It's not a high-powered offense. It's a winning football team.
Yeah.
And there's just not a ton of...
They spread the ball around, but the one constant is James Conner, in my opinion.
That's right.
And so whoever got James Conner in this trade is the one who comes out on top. And Ryan Keck, that is you, sir.
I do like Juju. I
do like him, yeah.
I don't know what to do with him not scoring a lot, though. So, sorry, Paul.
If we were a dynasty league, I want Juju because whoever he goes to next is going to be great.
Paul, I don't want you to get relegated. But it's starting to look like it, and I need you to figure it out because you're too good to get relegated.
Agreed.
So, would you mind doing that for us? Thanks.
All right. Well, that is the quarterly recap, gentlemen. Is there anything else you guys want to contribute to the conversation on that front, or do we just move on down into the topic of the show?
Cole, welcome to the Fantasy Football League of League for the Leagues show. I messed it up. We have a question to ask you. Are you available?
Sure. Yeah, what's up?
So, Bailey has just informed me during one of our breaks that you get $2 if your buddy wins, but you lose $2 if your buddy loses. Are you aware of that?
I am.
Told you. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cole.
How were you informed of this?
He told us at the draft, I think.
Only at the draft. Never in writing?
I've lost money a lot this year, man.
Yes, I understand that. We can talk about that off the air.
Oh, I feel so justified right now. Thank you.
However, sorry, you don't hear Bailey, but Bailey hears you, and he's laughing it up. However, he only said that at the draft and didn't say that anywhere else.
No, I've said it multiple places.
I don't know. Maybe I can't confirm or deny that. I just know that I know it.
So you've heard it here first, folks. All right, thanks, Cole. You're doing a great job being a big buddy to me.
Cole,
Keep
you're
it
the
up.
man.
Bailey said Cole's the man. All right, bye.
What did he say?
Oh, Coker, I feel so
said,
vindicated.
He said I was wrong and Bailey was right. However, shockingly, I still feel like I'm right. So let's call somebody else.
That's great.
Are we recording video? If you feel you're on my side, let me know. Email to the show.
You're gonna love this topic, just trust me. Give it a chance, would you please?
Do we have a topic of the show?
Yeah, Coker's got it.
I got one.
All right, what's up?
Do we need to clarify what happened first? Before?
So I think you should put that conversation that was just recorded. So for the record, everybody listening at home, we just called Cole to settle a dispute. Let's put that as the intro. You know how you do that little clip before the intro drop? Mm-hmm. We should put that conversation there.
Where are we going to put our 30 minutes of talking about video games?
It's a good question.
Okay, here's
All
the
right,
topic.
what's the topic of the show?
It trails from what we just discussed. Not the conversation, but the last topic.
Okay.
Hey,
The trades.
why don't we cut everything and do the drop again, and that way we can do a hard cut from there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Because I was talking through it, but you don't have to do that.
Okay, just do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the topic of
That way it's
the
clean.
show. The topic of the show. You're gonna love this topic, just trust me. Give it a chance, will you please?
All right, Coker.
I promised buffoonery.
Yep, and you got it. You
Oh my
got
gosh.
it.
What we have.
It's so great that we just have inside jokes for a podcast that's already an inside joke.
So good. All right, topic of the show.
Okay.
What you got for us, Coker?
This stems on what we were just talking about.
All right.
When
Which we cut.
when do you guys decide to give up on a player?
That's a great
Oh,
question.
that is a great
This
question.
is a fantasy relevant question,
Yeah.
Patrick.
When do we decide to give up on a player? Oh,
It's super hard for me.
yeah. Same here. Same here. I probably hang on too long.
I drafted the players that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect example. And you guys are going to just tell me to cut him. T.Y. Hilton.
Cut him.
T.Y. Hilton was drafted by me because I like T.Y. Hilton. I like his skill set, and I like the quarterback, Phillip Rivers. I like the coach, Frank Reich, who is a former offensive coordinator for the Eagles, which I love his play calling and his style of offense. And T.Y. Hilton has been awful this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to do with those unmovable facts, and I have not cut him yet.
Yeah.
And each week, I'm just, let me watch this. Let me see when he comes on. A.J. Green, another example, which A.J. Green has come on, but pretty much it's going to take me about 8 weeks of seeing a player not perform before I cut him if I really liked him.
Yeah.
If you are a later rounder, maybe, but like anybody in the top 8 rounds, I'm giving you a long look.
Yeah.
Probably too long.
Yeah. No, I'm very similar in that regard. I will say a lot of it depends on some of the context. So what position is the player? What is the offense they are running in? Are they like a household name, so to speak, or are they not? So depending on those variables will kind of affect whether or not I cut ties with them quickly or not. So, for example, if they're a big name, I mean, like T.Y. Hilton, that's a really good example. If they're a big name that's at least got some traction, if I am unsettled with them, I'm going to try to trade them before I cut them, hoping that somebody else maybe buys into the name. A really good example of this, honestly, would probably be Juju this year. Just really hoping that somebody else out there believes in Juju still, because he is Juju and he is talented and he is a huge name, but he's not doing anything for me right now.
It's hard to cut him.
I won't cut him. I can't cut him. I just can't, but I will potentially try to trade him. However, if it's somebody that I picked up off the waiver wire, if they haven't performed for me in 3 weeks and they're a dime a dozen, there's a bunch of other players at the same position, like a wide receiver or something like that out there who can get me better points than this guy, I'll cut him easy peasy. I'll give you maybe 3 weeks max to prove you got what you got,
It's an awful feeling when I drop a player and somebody else picks him up for fab money right away. And it's like, and usually it's Keck who picks him up, and I'm like, I shouldn't have dropped him.
Yep.
I knew I shouldn't have dropped him.
Well, a good example of that this year for me would be Justin Jefferson. So I cut him after week 2.
You had
because
to.
he was not involved in the offense.
No.
He was not involved at all. And it was a bad offense. You know what I'm saying? With a run-first mentality. And so I was just like, I got to let him go. Now he's a top 10 receiver.
Top 6 points per game the last 4 weeks.
It's unbelievable.
Name the players you'd rather have ahead of that.
Yeah, exactly. And so Banksy picked him up off the waivers for like $5 or something like that. And it was just like, dadgummit, what
I think Snipes got him. Oh, wait, it was on Manager of the Month. Oh, Shane. Maybe Shane got him.
Yeah,
I
Shane
get the
got him.
leagues confused.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of where.
You got any
where I'm
experience?
at.
Why'd you bring up that question?
That's a good
I
question,
don't
man.
know, just
That's a
you guys
really
had
good question.
Had a lot to say about trades. And
Oh,
stuff.
I
just
mean,
figured
we belabored these
I don't like
thoughts.
it. I like when I make a draft. I want those guys to be my guys.
Man,
Us too.
big heart. I love it. I'm with you though. Like that's how I feel. Like it's like I picked you for a reason. You know,
Do
like,
better.
Yeah, like I believe in you. Come on,
Hey,
man.
let's call Kick up, and we can cut this if not. Let's ask him this question because I feel like he is quick
That's
to
a
cut
great
a
idea.
player.
Call him up. Yeah.
and he always makes the right decision.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go ahead.
Where
Call
does he
him up.
live?
Where does he live?
In Columbia.
Oh, good. Okay.
What difference does that make?
Okay. Time zones.
Oh, I understand.
It would still be earlier for him.
Hey, across the pond.
I think he lives in Britain.
Maybe. He's not gonna answer.
Oh, he might. He
Cole
knows we're
answered.
recording.
Yeah, that's Cole though.
Hey, what's up, former champ?
Hey,
Hey, he knows.
hey, Kat, can you hear Bailey by any chance?
Just barely.
Okay, just barely. All right, listen. Hey, welcome to the podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. Well, we just had a really good question for topic of the show that Patrick brought up, and it was what was the question, Patrick? When do you know to cut ties?
Give up on a player.
To give up on a player. And me and Bailey both said we hold on to players too long, but we said Keck seems to always know the right time to get rid of a player, and it bothers us. And so we wanted to ask you the question, when do you know, Keck, to cut ties with a player?
There's a few factors. What would be an example of someone you're thinking about right now?
Juju. You gave up on Juju at the exact right time.
Yeah, I think with Juju, in his case, Ben was spreading it around a lot, and he wasn't seeing a high volume of targets.
So
I was like,
pretty much you anticipated the future, is what you're telling me.
Anticipated the what now?
The future, because that is actually what happened.
Sure.
All right, but more just generically, when do you know?
When do I know? I'd say just when I pay attention to volume. So when I see a guy that maybe in the past has produced a lot, so there's some expectation that he's going to continue to produce.
All right,
I'm weighing that, and I'm
one
weighing-
follow-up question to that, though.
Okay.
You drafted players that you like, right?
Sure.
How do you not let yourself say, they're good, and I want to see a few more games before I cut ties, and then it's going to be too late? How do you resist that temptation?
That's a good question.
I still have it though. I
Well,
still have that temptation, but
Fair enough.
I was shopping around a few guys today, and I was like, am I ready to give up on this guy? He's kind of nice to have.
okay. That's good to know that you struggle. The struggle is real with you, too.
Yeah, I'm very happy to know that.
It is. I love rooting for Metcalf, and he's just such a fun player, but he's also a great asset that I could.
Oh,
I'll take him.
yeah,
I will take
give
him.
me Metcalf. We're good.
Keck, I will take
cut
him.
this.
The thing is, when I look at a lot of guys' bench too, sure, I'm looking at trades, and I'm looking for high upside guys. I don't see a lot of high upside guys on people's benches that they could throw in a trade if they're trading with me. That's been a hesitation of being involved in more trades this year.
That makes sense.
Than in the past. It's like I want somebody who's gonna have the potential to bust out. Not,
All right, Keck.
it's like he's mediocre. He might be mediocre. Maybe just a little bit
You're the
average in the future.
You're the man. Pat, just give me the wrap-up symbol. I got to cut topic of the show. But listen, you're doing great this year. Tune into the show. You are a very powerful team. I just want to tell you that. That's a little nod.
Love you, Keck.
Very powerful 3-14.
Just watch the show. You'll find out what we think. Love you, man. See
Love
ya.
you, brother. Peace. Oh, that's great. He's the best.
amazing.
He's the best. Told you he would answer. That's awesome. All right, well, let's get down into the weekly preview.
Each week, there is one thing we like to do.
That's right.
Just sit around, because we ain't got much to lose.
Lord of mercy.
So gather your brother, your sister, your uncle, your auntie too. Tell them the story. Because it's time for the weekly
Yeah, I didn't pick that up. All right. Well, gentlemen, let's hit it. This is where we do our pick'em. How are things going to play out for the next quarter of our season?
All right.
Chris, take it away.
In review, this is our current standings. According to what we have picked thus far, we're using real money here. And in Tier 1, me and Bailey are minus $25 based on our picks.
Yuck.
Patrick is up $75, so you're doing a great job. And then in Tier 2, you're doing a great job as well. Total standings, Chris $25 in the positive, Bailey $50 in the positive, Patrick $150 in the positive. Let me review last week. So in the big league...
Not last week, last month.
Last month. In the big league, the green circles are teams that we picked to be in the middle 4 tier.
Green.
The green. That's correctly picked in the middle 4 tier. That's what we were tasked with. We were tasked to pick 4 teams that were going to be in the middle tier for each league.
Now, there are only 3 green circled. Why is that?
Because we didn't pick very many people.
We missed.
Didn't pick very many correct people.
Got it.
So last week we picked 4 teams that would be in the middle tier. And the red ones are the ones that we thought would be in the middle tier that actually aren't. They're either in the top tier or the bottom tier. And then nobody got the worst to first $100 bonus. Okay? So that's what we did last week. So Crawford, Owen, y'all are in the top tier. So we apologize. Bailey, you're in the top tier too. So we apologize to y'all. We guessed wrong.
Oh, okay, so all of these circles are people we picked, and then the green ones are the ones we got right.
And so the order is where they were according to, at the end of week 3, essentially.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Or whatever. So, in Little League, same thing. We only picked correctly that Raindrops and Allen would be in the middle tier, which they are.
We did not do good on that.
And then Leo, Cousin Chris are in the bottom tier, and then Garrett and Devin are in the top tier. So we guessed those guys wrong. So sorry to you guys that we guessed wrong and thought you would be demoted.
We tried.
And then for Leo and Cousin Chris and Stark, we thought you guys would be doing better than this. Come on, y'all. Anyway.
Because you are better.
That was the review. Now, I want us to look at the big league for this year, this week.
Let's go.
I sorted it by season power ratings. I know that's not the official standings.
That's okay. We've already proven it's more scientific and more grounded.
Sure. So even though Dean and Keck are seeds 6 and 7, they're actually in the top.
Sure.
Okay? We are going to meet in 3 weeks.
Okay.
And what I would like to know is I want to know what's one team that isn't in the top 4 of standings right now that will be
one team
for $100. And what's one team that is in the top 4 of standings that won't be? This is about to be juicy. $100 each.
Yep.
So you could be $200 in the positive, and we could beat Patrick right now.
Not in the top 4. That is going to be in the top 4.
That's right.
In 3 weeks.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Because if you're in the top 4 or in the middle 4, we want to talk about you guys. Guys in the bottom 4, y'all need to step it up for us to talk about you. Okay. All right. And I've got the standings right here if you wanted to look at it for any reason. So
give me the standings. I want to look at it that way.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's tier 2. We're looking at.
Oh goodness.
I flipped the slides.
No, that's fine.
All right. This is tier 1. So we're picking one team that's in the top 4 to be in the middle 4, and one team from the middle 4 to be in the top 4, and that has to be completely accurate to get that right.
All right. I am going to take. Do you have a quick question? Do you have a breakdown of who is playing whom?
No, I would, but I went to Gus's T-ball game today.
Fair enough.
And I couldn't do that slide, but anyway.
I respect it. Well, I think I am going. Oh man, Can I tell you who it's between for me?
Yeah.
Right now, it's between.
Say you. Just say you.
No, I can't. I can't because I'm already in the top 4. Yeah. I got to pick from anybody below.
But you can pick from the top 4 that's going to get lower.
No. You said I have to pick somebody who's not in the top
both.
4.
You
picking
got to
two
pick
teams.
one from the top four
I'm
to
picking
go.
2 teams.
2 teams.
Okay, well
So
then
I want
yeah.
you to piss somebody off, and I want you to
Yeah.
help
All
make
right.
someone's
So
day.
for my team who's not going to be in the top 4 after 3 weeks, I think it's going to be me because I think I'm going to drop at least 1 game, if not 2. So I think I'm going to be in the 5 to 8 range.
Wow.
I'm totally fine with picking myself
I was
there.
joking. So you're picking you to be demoted.
Yeah, I got a lot of injuries that are piling up right now. Like I just think it's gonna. If I'm in the top 4 in 3 weeks, it will be an accomplishment. I'm not saying I'm not in the playoff running because look out, I'm coming for you. But I'd take me out of there. I think the one who's gonna move up into the top 4. I'm torn between Keck and you, Chris.
Ooh.
I'm torn. I really am. I told you this before the show.
I already wrote his pick down.
I think you have made a lot of great moves over the past quarter, and I think
I have moves like Jagger.
you really do.
Come on.
But allow me to
Lock it
say
in.
this.
Lock it in.
You know what?
It's Keck.
It is Keck.
I wrote Keck down.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick against him because he's Keck, man. He just knows what he's doing.
And the power.
Yeah. Yeah, the power.
No.
Yeah, all right. So I'm taking me to drop, Keck to move in.
Okay, Patrick.
I'm taking Owen to drop and
2-time champion. I almost said 3-time champion.
Chris to move in.
Hey.
Hey, look at this.
I appreciate the support. All right, nephew Dean. Look at this power.
Look at the power.
Power, Dean. This amazing power that you have. You're going to move up to the top 4, which in order to make room for you to be in the top 4, I can only pick Owen or Crawford or Bailey.
Right?
So I'm choosing between you, and I just don't think lightning strikes 3 times, so I'm going Owen.
Wow.
No disrespect.
I do feel a lot of pressure at this moment.
I said lightning can't strike 3 times. I'm in the same place.
In the same place.
Okay.
Because it definitely can't strike 3 times.
It's
It can also strike 3 times in the same
All right.
place.
Moving on to the Little League.
Yeah, let's go, Little League.
Looking at the power, just so that you're aware of the power that is in existence so far this season. Dev is number 1. Shane, Patrick, Cole, top 4.
I'm feeling Dev, man. I'm feeling it.
All right, I'm all over the place with the slides. Okay.
That's fine.
Team to move up from the middle 4 to the top 4, and then a team from the top 4 to move to the middle 4 for $100 each.
From the middle 4 to the top 4. Does it have to be from the middle 4 or can it be anywhere?
I'm gonna be from anywhere, because that makes it even harder for you.
Well, that's how I did the first one. All right. So I am going to take. I'm going to take Shane Haterade moving up into the top 4.
I love it, because of the power.
Well, because of the power. It's also a stretch pick because he's got to make up 2 games. So I'm going a little balls to the wall here. Moving out of the top 4.
Got to make room.
It's got to be Garrett, man.
Yeah.
It's got to be Judge Judy, Mr. Garrett.
So there's some winners in life, and there's some.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. And I base that strictly upon points for performance.
Okay. Patrick.
Also, he plays me this week.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that you're going to win. Coker, I'm so proud of you this season. I
you.
love
Thank
everything
you.
It's
about
because
it.
of Calvin Ridley.
Thank you.
It really is because of Calvin Ridley.
You picked a guy.
The one pick out.
Which is great. Isn't it great?
Well, the other one was
You couldn't write it better, you know?
Well, the other one, when it came to a quarterback, there was a few options, and you
Yeah.
said, "I'm just gonna let you pick."
Yeah, man.
Aaron Rodgers,
I
and he's
love
doing
it.
so good. So I'm gonna say from the top 4, also, even though I love him so much, Josh Garrett. And then from the bottom 4, I got to go with. I'm gonna go with Cousin Chris.
Oh.
Wow.
He's all the way down here. Mm-hmm. You're going to say he's going to be in the top 4?
Oh no! Okay, I thought we were going to the middle. Okay,
I was
never
about to
mind.
say that means
Scratch
he's got to go.
So
He's got to
you-
go 3-0.
you
and
said
a lot
Garrett's
of
gonna
crap
move
has gotta
down.
happen.
Garrett's going down, and then I will go with. I'm gonna go with.
You can just say Shane. That's your boy.
I want to say Shane, but that's what Bailey said.
That's fine.
You locked in the exact same picks.
Great minds can think alike.
Okay.
Okay.
You know?
We're also buddies.
We're also buddies.
All right.
Buddies.
Can I be honest with you? Alan tipping.
Yeah.
He wants it.
I was deliberating over him, genuinely.
He's been in on every single waiver week.
He has done well.
He's got good players. He's scored a lot of points. That's equivalent to the top teams.
Yep.
I'm actually saying I agree that Allen is going to be, or actually I don't agree. Nobody else saw that. I think Allen is going to be in the top 4.
Yeah.
And I think room has to be made for him. And I want to consult.
Not that.
I want to consult my power to decide. What have you done for me lately? Man, Josh Garrett, 4. Cole's been doing strong. Dev's been doing strong.
I will say,
where's Patrick? Patrick's been doing strong.
Cole is
Now,
almost out of money.
before you give your pick,
Okay.
I do want to say that the Allen for Garrett swap is
What's
the
that?
easy pick.
Is that easy?
Yeah, they are only separated in the standings by 3 points. So that's a very easy pick. And
Okay.
if you want to take the easy pick, that's on you, bro.
No, I don't.
That's your
No, I don't.
decision. But I just wanted to point that out.
All right, you ready? You ready
Yeah,
for this?
I'm ready.
Alan, sorry, man. Strike it. Puddin'.
Oh!
Puddin'. You've been a thorn in Bailey's side every second you've been in this league. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I love Bailey, but I'm loving this thorn. Okay? So Puddin',
delightful.
you're moving on up, and let's just watch the world burn.
Hey, you know what?
Cole,
Great
you're
pick.
going in the middle 4. I'm sorry. I don't think it should happen, but somebody's got to drop. It's got to be you. Cole dropping, Puddin' moving up.
I love it.
Give me my $200 right now.
I love it.
All right, let's
oh,
go.
I love it so
Let's
much.
go. Thanks for baiting me into poor decisions, Bailey.
You're welcome.
All right.
But if you
You're
look,
welcome. Now watch you get $200 next week.
That's usually right. That's right.
J. Cole's almost out of money. So there's that.
That is also true.
Sorry about that, Cole. Apparently, we get -2 every time your buddy loses.
Also, Leo is way out of money.
He's in debt.
He's in
So
debt,
even if his buddy wins, he doesn't get anything.
Technically, yes. That's funny. All right. I love it. Chris, I want to say a thank you to you putting all of this information together. This is really fun, getting to make these picks based upon the criteria that you do. And I love that you change it up every time we have a
That's
show.
right.
So thank you so much for doing that.
Of course.
All right. Well, gentlemen, now we like to kind of shift gears just a little bit as we begin to wrap up the show and talk about some things that aren't fantasy football related, because we have a lot of other things going on in life, a lot of things that we enjoy. I would like to talk about the coolest thing we've seen this week.
The coolest thing I've seen all week. The coolest thing I've seen all week.
Shall I start since I actually wrote mine?
Yeah,
in the show
that's
notes?
fine. Go right
All right.
ahead.
I want to talk about Nikki's Mediterranean. What was it? Nikki's Mediterranean Kitchen. So
Super cool, huh?
it's on YouTube, and Nikki is my cousin. So
Oh, snap. bro.
STFU.
How many cousins you got, bro?
This is cousin Chris's sister. Nikki is the oldest in the family, my big cousin, and super smart, just life of the party type person.
Sure.
She's just done wonderful in restaurants and, has lots of events, businesses or whatever. And so she started a YouTube channel called Nikki's Mediterranean Kitchen. And the reason why I want to tell you guys about it is because, number one, it's good. She does a good job on it.
I'm about to subscribe.
Subscribing right
and
now.
as a fellow YouTube conglomerate,
Right,
we
yeah.
understand
I think we can relate, Nikki.
the difficulty in having a high quality level of goodness like she has. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about is it's not just good, it's special.
Oh.
So she's not Googling recipes and talking about Greek dishes. Like that's what she does. Is she takes a Greek dish and she teaches us how to make it in her kitchen, in her actual house, that she makes for her family. And more importantly, No, Nikki. That's not my Nikki. Please don't show me that anymore.
How do you spell Mediterranean?
MEDIT.
To be honest with you,
RAN.
I don't know if is that the name. Oh my gosh, I hope it's the name. I'll correct in the show notes or later in the show when it's somebody else's turn. But anyway, the reason why it's special. Can I tell you about this?
Is this her?
That's it. Nikki's
Okay.
Mediterranean. Yeah, that's Nikki. Yeah, that's right.
Describing now.
My big cousin. So proud of her. Now, the reason why it's special is it's not just random recipes that are Greek cuisines. This is what we grew up with. This is what my mom made. This is what her mom made. This is what our yaya made our entire lives. And she's sharing it with the world. And the reason why that's special to me is because, like, we talked about this before, like, if one day I were to go early and I wouldn't get to know my kids as they got older, the reason why that would make me sad is because they wouldn't know, someone who's like, I'm half of them, and they wouldn't know about my learned experiences and learned lessons and things that make me tick and just help them understand a little bit more about them through my own life. And the reason why I wrote a book that's 200 pages long at this point to my kids is for that reason. The reason why I like doing this podcast is because it's like, hey, I'd love for you to see a glimpse of me when you're older, if I weren't around, to see me goofing off with my friends. Like if I had something like that from my dad, him goofing off with his friends in his 30s, I would just love it. And so she is documenting a moment in our family history that actually is memorable, that matters to us. Like, when my yaya died like 2 years ago, she didn't have an inheritance that she passed on to us. She had a stack of recipes that were all written in Greek, and I loved hearing my aunts and uncles like reminisce about them and like argue about the interpretations of like what is a scoop full of this. Like they would argue about it. It's great. And what Nikki is doing is she is sharing that with the world in a really well done way.
Dude, the production quality on this is insane.
No, yeah, it's definitively good for sure.
Definitively.
But it's also very special, and I'm really proud of her for doing it. I'm thankful that she's done it, and I really want her tons of success because of it, because it really is good and special. So I wanted to share that with our entire league.
Like I am shocked at the production quality of that.
No, it's good.
She's
it's
a big
good.
deal. Or at least seems like a big deal.
She's a big deal.
Yeah.
And she's great. So you should check it out.
That's awesome.
Nikki's Mediterranean Kitchen.
Subscribed.
Yeah.
I'm there. Go ahead.
Cool. All right. So my coolest thing in a similar vein is related to food. It's honestly a restaurant in my hometown, Lexington, South Carolina, called the Griffin Chop House.
I've heard of it.
It is unbelievably good. So my previous experience with Griffin Chop House, it used to be a different restaurant, same ownership, different restaurant called the Kingsman, and they specialized in ribeye burgers. They still have those ribeye burgers, and they're delicious. But that was the only thing.
Is it called the Palmetto? Pimento cheese?
Yeah, it's the same
Jalapeno?
burger.
Okay, good.
Yeah, same burger. Made with high quality ribeye, like delicious, wonderful. But that had been my only experience with them. So they rebranded, updated their menu. Basically, the rebrand became, they moved from a mom and pop style, meat and three, kind of have everything on the menu type place, to a upscale, what I would call meatery. They specialize in meat. So steak. Good steak.
Pork belly.
Pork belly.
Oh, they
all-
do pork belly well.
Pork
That's
belly. They
appetizer,
do.
yeah.
Wow. You've been there.
They do. They do barbecue. I mean, but meat is their thing.
Well, they've
now.
always had a butcher shop right
yeah,
next
and so they
to
got
them.
the butcher shop next door and all that. Anyway, I ate there this weekend.
What'd you order?
For the first time? I got the lowest cut of steak. I got a sirloin. A sirloin.
Sirloin's
all right?
a very good cut of steak.
It's the lowest cut of their steak.
Okay.
All right. It was one of the best steaks I have ever had in my entire life.
Whoa.
And I've eaten at some places. All right. And it was unbelievably good. It made me go, oh crap, I need to order the expensive cut of steak. If this is so good, I need to get the creme de la creme, if I may, because I was blown away. So they even had a special this past weekend of a tomahawk ribeye. Yeah. And I really wanted to get it, but it was like way too far out of my price range, and it needed to be shared with people because that's so much meat.
Huge, yeah.
But I was so pleased with the entire experience. So like when you walk in now, it no longer feels like a mom and pop's place. It feels like an upscale dining experience, give or take. But their patio is unreal. Like, it's just this nice outdoor seating area that's been really well thought through in terms of how it's all laid out. And their menu is just fantastic. Like, it is unbelievably good.
Talking about one thing. So you had the steak.
I did.
I don't order steak at restaurants. But talking about sides.
So I had the asparagus, and it was delicious.
Okay. Good to know.
So I went.
No apps, no zerts.
Oh, sorry. Apps and zerts.
Oh, okay. Talk to me then.
My bad, bro. So get this. I got it was a pimento cheese dip that normally gets served with like a pita chip or whatever, which is great. They allow you to substitute for the pita chips pork rinds.
Oh, yes.
Brother,
That's a good one.
it'll change your life.
Oh, high in protein.
It will change
Low in carbs.
your life.
Trust me, I know that.
And then we also had the caramel something cheesecake for dessert. And
I gotta go.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
No, bro,
It's too
10
late.
of 10 of 10 will recommend. Like, this joint is great. I am so happy that it is in Lexington. I am so happy to
great.
get to be a patron.
We know
of
the
it.
owner. He's
Yep,
amazing.
We know the owner. It's fantastic. Like, Lexington is getting better and better by the day, thanks to places like Griffin Chop House.
So mine's kind of boring,
What?
but I'm going to.
Are you gonna talk about Ted Lasso?
No.
Okay.
I could. I mean, I could talk about Ted Lasso for days, but.
Well, somebody needs to tell everybody. Just watch Ted Lasso.
Okay, I'll do Ted Lasso.
No,
instead. I'll say mine can be done later.
Well, do both. There you go. I want to know. I want to know what's
Ted
cool.
Lasso.
I want to know what's cool.
Ted Lasso is a great show. It's on Apple TV Plus. It was apparently poorly marketed. I don't know this from experience, but I did hear this that the marketing for it didn't exactly reflect what the show is. But it's executive produced by Bill Lawrence, who did Scrubs. So it's got a lot of heart.
It's got heart.
It is.
It's good.
I didn't know that, so I can affirm that it was poorly marketed.
Yeah.
If people did not tell me that it was made by Bill Lawrence, that you failed at your marketing campaign.
I will say, if I had to sum up the show, it would be if Dabo Sweeney coached a English Premier League soccer team. That's what it is.
I have to watch this show.
Same
have to
same
watch it.
goodness of the man.
I mean, in the best way possible. As a Gamecock fan, I'm not being sarcastic. I mean it in the best
So
way possible.
I told Patrick
have
to watch
this
it,
show.
and it's I said it's like Forrest Gump. Like, whatever he went into, whatever scenario, he was made fun of at first, and he won them over through just goodness and kindness and genuineness. And everybody loves him.
Everybody wants to hate him, but they just love him.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I have to
Just
watch
because
this.
he's
Great-
so genuine.
a
It's
great
really
character.
good.
They
I think
should
the-
have paid you to market this show.
Mostly me.
I would
but
say,
anyway.
well,
Mostly Chris.
well, I came up with the Dabo thing.
That's pretty good. Anyway, the pilot's the worst episode. Just want you to be aware of that.
That's fine.
It's still good.
The pilot is always the worst episode.
Yeah, so
Not in Lost.
it was formerly an SNL sketch.
That's a good
SNL sketch by Jason Sudeikis. Yeah, Lost was the best pilot of all time. You're
a good point.
You're absolutely right about that. Abrams wrote the pilot. J.J. Abrams. Anyway.
Zach Braff directed the second episode.
Of Ted Lasso?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's great. What was the other coolest thing you were going to say?
As a family, we are reading Chronicles of Narnia. And,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
I love the Chronicles
That's
of Narnia.
that's the Anderson University college kid of you.
Dude, I love the Chronicles of Narnia.
And I found
love
this
them.
C.L. Lewis
Well,
vocabulary.
first of all, say the name right.
What did I say?
You said C.L.
Oh,
Lewis,
C.S.
and
Lewis.
that's a big problem.
I found this list of like vocabulary words, and it's mostly English phrases, how to translate them into American English.
Oh.
And so Tiffany will read the book, and I'll have the list up, and when she says it, I'll stop like, that means, and it's just been really fun to do.
They say a weird word for sink. I remember reading that with my kids, and I was like, I don't know what this word
They
is.
call a sleigh a sledge, which is
Really?
also interesting. Yes, but it's been really fun, and once we finish that, we're gonna watch the movie together and make
Dude.
Turkish delight.
Dude, I love those books. I weep when I read The Last Battle.
Never got there.
weep. Love it. It's just unbelievable.
They never made the movie.
They never made the movie, but The Last Battle is so dead.
I think Netflix is doing picked up the franchise and is doing features, doing new features or
I think a series,
a
right?
series, maybe a TV show series. Yeah, it's gonna be well done. They're gonna do it justice.
That's what's up.
The least coolest thing, Cyberpunk got delayed.
Again.
Yep.
Who cares? Make it right.
Yeah, I want it to be good.
What difference does it make?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were gonna play Cyberpunk. Is that
I mean,
true?
at this point, I'm not because I don't have a PS5.
It's
Play
on
it
PS4.
It's going to be on PS4.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
gonna-
play it on.
Then there's potential that I might.
Okay.
Anyway.
December 10th.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I believe that is our show. We've covered all the things. It has been
I don't know how long it's
full
been.
episode. We've recorded for darn near 2 hours. I don't know.
we
if
gotta
that-
quit cutting. We gotta quit cutting
It's a
back.
mess.
Okay.
But as always, we like to leave you with a little bit of a fantasy football pro tip. Just keep in mind, it is only half the season. Whatever has happened over these past 7 weeks,
Just
can
quit.
completely flip for the next 7. So if you're at the bottom, don't give up. If you're at the top, stay on your toes. Much love, gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Ah, yeah. We taking it back old school with this beat. Here we go. Get ready, get ready. I remember being a kid playing ball in the yard. I thought it was great, man, gonna go real far. Told my mom I'm making the NFL, right? She said, "Aw, son, you're too little and too white." Oh man, my dreams were crushed, you see. And then I thought I might as well try fantasy. It's kinda like football if football were math, and not really fun and kinda well just sad. And that brings us to the show you are about to see. We promise lots of laughs and genuine buffoonery. So sit back, relax, turn that frown upside down, 'cause fool,